Hello, hello, hello. I am your spiritual transformational life coach, Latricia Booker, here with Kingdom Business, where we are empowered, where we heal, we get delivered, and we get free. We know who we are. We elevate our minds and our spirits and raise and expand our consciousness to ultimately walk in our true divine power and purpose, and that is the truth of who God has created us to be. So, Kingdom people, I have to take the time out to say thank you, Kingdom people. Thank you so much. So much. Thank you for viewing my videos. Thank you for the likes, the subscribes, the shares, all of the financial contributions to my channel, and all of the seeds that you sow into me in my ministry, and for all the wonderful emails. Kingdom people, thank you all so very much. It is very much appreciated. Thank you, Kingdom people. And so, as you already know, and if you don't know, now you know, I am here to drop this beat, this word, this message. Yeah. Kingdom people, Kingdom people, Kingdom people. Listen. Hate and jealousy is just inspiration wrapped in insecurity. I'm going to say that again. Hate and jealousy is just inspiration wrapped in insecurity. Let me explain, Kingdom people. Let me explain. So, upon reflection, and God speaking to me and just, talking to me upon reflection, for real though, He gave me that hate and jealousy is just inspiration wrapped in insecurity and fear, actually. Hate and jealousy is inspiration wrapped in insecurity and fear. And so, what am I speaking of? So, I just got to hit on this just to explain, just to give you I just heard bird's view. A bird's view? I don't know, Kingdom people. But just to help you to see this in a certain kind of a way. Or for what it is what God has given me, which kind of makes sense. When people hate you and they are jealous of you, what's really happening is they're inspired. But because of their own insecurities and their own fear to step out of the box, step out of their comfort zone, tap into who they really are, whatever it may be, they're not able to be inspired because of their own insecurity and fear. But had not the insecurity and the fear been there, they would actually be inspired by you, Kingdom people. Kind of like what we do with people who we're inspired by. So, when we see people who, whatever they're doing that we think is great, or that blesses us, or is encouraging to us, or we just love, we're inspired by it. And the reason why we're able to be inspired by it, Kingdom people, is because we're not hateful and we're not jealous. Now, even if there is some form of fear and some form of insecurity that you're still working through, it's not so deeply rooted to where it makes you hateful towards people and jealous. You work on your insecurities so that you can be secure. You face your fears so that you can be fearless. So there's the difference. These people who are hateful and jealous, they actually feed their insecurities and their fears. And how do you feed insecurities and fears? You get people around you who will pacify your insecurity. So you won't have to overcome it and become secure. You control, you manipulate, not you kingdom people, but these kind of people, they control and they manipulate to try to make things work the way they want them to, so they won't have to step outside of their fear, so they won't have to face their fear, so they won't have to become secure. In other words, they need to control and manipulate to feed their insecurities. They pacify their insecurities. They need people who will pacify their insecurities, not help them to rise above and beyond and overcome their insecurities, so that they can be secure in themselves and who they are, so that they can be fearless and not fearful. Okay? So, because they're so deeply insecure and fearful, hateful, jealous, all those things, they really can't be inspired. And so again, hate and jealousy, when people are hateful, hate you, and are jealous towards you, they're really inspired. It's just inspiration wrapped in insecurity and fear. So I'm hearing wrapped. So the inspiration, here's the inspiration. It's there, this inspiration. Insecurity and fear wraps the inspiration. So if it's wrapped up, it's not able to function. You can't see the inspiration. The inspiration is covered. It's because insecurity and fear has it in its grip, so to speak. So I think that can be helpful. I know it has been for me, that along with some other perspectives and ways of looking at things that help dealing with these kind of people. Just understanding where they are and what they have going on as to why they are the way they are. Now, that doesn't mean feed into their stuff or engage them or anything like that. But, it helps you to get where they are and know why they behave the way they do. It kind of gives you an advantage because you have understanding. I just heard, in all thy getting, get understanding. And that can mean in many different ways. So when you can better understand people and where they're coming from, you can better understand why they do what they do and know how to, I don't know what I want to say. I wanted to say know how to navigate around them. But I believe it goes deeper than that. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that right there. It's just to give you some understanding as to why they operate the way they do. For me personally, I know understanding these things help me to have a little compassion for them. I think I've already said that. It helps me to, I don't know, kingdom people, what I'm trying to say. I don't. But hate and jealousy is just inspiration wrapped up in insecurity and fear. So when you know that, you get it. You get where they are. You get why they are where they are. And even those who are working to overcome that, knowing that helps you. For me personally, as a life coach, knowing where people are helps me to help them. And sometimes I just know where they are just from observation and from conversation. But in sessions, I have to talk to them and ask questions and get some understanding so we can get to the bottom of what's really happening, what's going on, so I can better help them. And I'm also reminded of, I'm going to put you in a little bit of my business. I started off with a degree in psychology in undergrad. And what happened was I took up psychology so I could understand myself and human behavior. I wanted to understand how people operate, how they, why they are the way they are. And of course that helped me. That was some years ago when I actually earned that degree. However, I continue to study psychology, but spiritual psychology, soul psychology, and even traditional psychology and things of that nature. To still continue to get an understanding of what makes people the way they are, so that I can better help them. And so, okay, knowing that, again, can be helpful. Now, what happens also is that they are blinded. People who are hateful and are jealous of you are blinded. And what has happened is, because when you're hateful and jealous, that's an open door for the enemy to get in. And because when you operate in that for so long, again, an enemy, that's an open door for the enemy. So now you can be taken over by an entity, a demonic entity. Be completely influenced by a demonic entity. Not that you can't overcome, not that you can't be free and delivered from that. However, in the meantime, what's happening is some people become demonically possessed. And once you're under that demonic possession, that insecurity, that fear, that hate, and that jealousy grows deeper. It doesn't get better. You don't feel more secure. You don't feel fearless. You don't feel, you hate. You're still hateful. You're still jealous. As a matter of fact, it gets worse, because now you have a demonic entity influencing you and operating through you. So I'm saying all that to say that inspiration has a harder time manifesting, so to speak, being activated. But again, that hate and that jealousy is inspiration wrapped in insecurity and fear. And so God gave me this scripture for this particular message. And it's 2 Corinthians 4:4. And it says, Satan, who is the god of the world, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe. They are unable to see the glorious light of the good news. They don't understand this message about the glory of Christ, who is the exact likeness of God. And so it says Satan, who is the god of the world, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe. So ultimately what happens is these people are blinded. They're blinded. And if they are an unbeliever, they're definitely blinded. Sometimes some people call themselves believers. They call themselves believers. But if they are hateful and jealous, they're blinded, are they really a believer? And I'm hearing having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. And I'm also getting worshiping me with your mouth, but your heart is far away from me. So if you're blinded, if you're hateful, if you're jealous, are you really a believer? Now, I'm not asking you that, kingdom people. I'm saying, because I know my kingdom people are true believers. I know my chosen ones are true believers. However, we're talking about these ones that are filled with hate and jealousy to the point that they can't be inspired because their inspiration is wrapped in insecurity and fear, because they have been blinded. Satan has blinded the minds of those who don't believe. So how were they able to be blinded? Because they don't believe, kingdom people. They don't believe. So because you don't believe, not you, kingdom people, but for those who don't believe, Satan can blind them because they don't believe. That is why they're blind. That is why they're hateful. That is why they're jealous. That's why they're insecure. That's why they're fearful. And that's why they attack you. Because of all of those things. They're blinded. They're hateful. They're jealous. They're insecure. And they're fearful. Okay? They can't be inspired by you. But it's in there, but it's covered, it's drowned out. It could even be dead and or destroyed, but it was at some point in there, because God made us all a certain kind of way. But over time, depending on what happens to you, what you do with it, how you let the devil in, or how you keep him out, or how you get free of him and get delivered. Because it's no surprise, kingdom people, that some of us have had to get delivered from some things and heal from some things and get free of some things. Matter of fact, we still work in progress as kingdom people, right? Right. However, we do not allow Satan to blind us. Why? Because we believe. We believe the gospel of Christ. We believe Jesus. It say they are unable to see the glorious light of the good news. We see the glorious light of the good news. Why? Because the veil has been removed. We are not blind, but they can't see the gospel, the glorious light of the good news. Those who are hateful, those who are jealous, which causes their insecurity and fear to go deeper, that are blinded, they can't see the glorious light of the good news. So they can't be inspired by us, which is the good news, because that's what we bring, the good news, because they're blinded, kingdom people, and it manifests itself as hate and jealousy, which again is wrapped in, well, the inspiration is wrapped in, well, at this point ain't no inspiration. It's wrapped in insecurity and fear. They're blinded. And I'm going to go on and read the last part. They don't understand this message about the glory of Christ, who is the exact likeness of God. And what I literally just got, okay, the Christ is the likeness of God, but God also made us in his image and his likeness. Even though we got all messed up along the way, Jesus came back, he restored us and put us back in our rightful place, which makes us the exact likeness of God. But I want to say they can't see it because they're blind. But they see something. I had to hesitate, because I'm like, they see something. They know, but they can't see, if that makes sense. They cannot be inspired. They can't see the glorious light of the good news. That's what they can't see. The glorious light of the good news, because they're blinded. So, hate and jealousy is just inspiration wrapped in insecurity and fear. Kingdom people, I hope I made sense. Either way, kingdom people, I'm going to let that rest right there. So, kingdom people, if you like this video and or if it resonates with you, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also, click on that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. What are you waiting for, kingdom people? Click on that bell right next to that subscribe button so that you can get a notification every time I upload a new video, something like this one, kingdom people. What else, kingdom people? What else? If you're interested in any of the services, I'm funny. Any of the services I presently offer, maybe I need to slow down. All that information can be found right down below in the description box. Anyway, just having a little fun, kingdom people. Trying to talk too fast, so I'm slowing it down, wheeling it back. Yeah. Okay, kingdom people. Well, I love you all so very much. I really appreciate you all being here with me and spending this time with your girl. I appreciate that, kingdom people. So with that being said, much love, light, and peace. And many blessings to you all. Kingdom people, that's my time. You already know. Jesus girl, she out. Peace.